Why do so many men feel lost? Why do they wake up every morning with no fire, no purpose, no hunger? You see, society has done something dangerous. It has trained you to accept weakness. It has told you that struggle is bad, that pain is something to avoid, and that success is only for the lucky few. But that's a lie. And if you don't wake up to the truth, you'll waste your entire life stuck in the same cycle, broke, weak, and invisible. Stay with this video until the end, and you'll learn what separates the men who rise from the ones who rot. The answer isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's something far deeper. Look around. How many men do you see living a life of quiet desperation, trapped in jobs they hate, stuck in bodies they despise, addicted to distractions that kill their potential? And the worst part, they know they're wasting their lives, but they do nothing to change. They make excuses. I wasn't born into money. I don't have time. It's too hard. They drown in self-pity instead of taking action. And that's exactly why they stay weak. The first rule of being a man is this: no one is coming to save you. Let that sink in. No one cares about your struggles. No one is losing sleep over your failures. The world keeps moving with or without you. So you have two choices: stay down and let life crush you, or stand up and take control. Most men choose the first option. Why? Because it's easy. It's easy to complain. It's easy to blame others. It's easy to accept mediocrity. But easy will never make you strong. Easy will never make you respected. Easy will never give you the life you want. The truth is, the world rewards those who refuse to quit, the ones who keep pushing when everything is against them, the ones who turn pain into power. Think about it. Every strong man you admire, every powerful figure, every warrior, every leader, they all had moments where they could have quit, but they didn't. They kept moving forward no matter how hard it got. That's the difference between winners and losers. Not talent, not luck, but the refusal to give up. And here's where human psychology comes in. Your brain is wired to seek comfort. It wants the path of least resistance. That's why so many men fall into the trap of video games, junk food, endless scrolling, and laziness. Their brains trick them into believing these things bring happiness. But deep down, they know the truth. Comfort is a drug. And like any drug, the more you indulge, the weaker you become. But here's the secret. The moment you break free from this cycle, everything changes. The moment you stop making excuses, stop blaming the world, and take responsibility for your life, you unlock a power most men will never experience. A man who takes control of his mind, his body, and his actions is unstoppable. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't beg for opportunities. He creates them. And that's the kind of man you must become. You don't need someone to hold your hand. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need luck. You need discipline. You need grit. You need the will to suffer for what you want. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Suffering is the price of success. No pain, no growth. No struggle, no strength. Every great man has been through hell. And that's exactly what made him great. So ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for power? Are you willing to let the weak version of yourself die so the strong version can rise? Most won't, but a few will. And if you've made it this far, if something inside you is waking up, if a fire is starting to burn inside you, then you already know the answer. Stay with this video, because in the next section, you'll discover exactly why most men fail and how you can break free from the trap forever. But first, make a decision right here, right now. Are you going to keep living as a shadow of the man you could be, or are you going to rise? Why do most men fail? Why do they settle for less when they were born to be great? It's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they don't have the potential. It's because they are trapped in a world designed to keep them weak, distracted, and obedient. And the worst part, they don't even realize it. Look around. How many men do you know who are actually living the life they dreamed of? How many wake up excited, powerful, and in control? Almost none, because most men today are lost. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They drift through life like ghosts, chasing temporary pleasures instead of real purpose. Why? Because the modern world makes it easy to be weak. It hands you comfort, entertainment, and cheap dopamine. It gives you distractions, video games, junk food, endless scrolling, so you never have to face the uncomfortable truth. You are not the man you're supposed to be. And here's where psychology comes in. Your brain craves the easiest option. It will always take the path of least resistance. If you let it, it will trick you into believing that comfort is happiness, that wasting hours on nonsense is relaxation, that avoiding struggle is the right way to live, but deep down you know it's a lie. Because every time you waste another day, another month, another year, something inside you dies. That voice in your head that tells you you're meant for more gets quieter and quieter, until one day it's gone. That's how most men fail. Not in a single moment, but slowly, day by day, choice by choice. They don't make one big mistake, they make 1,000 small ones. And before they know it, they're stuck, broke, out of shape, invisible to the world. And you know what they do next? They blame everything but themselves. The system is unfair. I didn't get lucky. It's too hard. Excuse after excuse, as if complaining ever built a single empire. Listen carefully. No one is coming to save you. You can cry about life being unfair. You can complain about how hard it is, or you can do something about it. Strong men are not born. They are made, forged in struggle, built through discipline. They don't sit around waiting for permission to be great. They take it. The weak wait for motivation. The strong act no matter what. So here's the question. Are you waiting? Are you sitting there hoping that one day life will just magically change for you? Because if you are, you're already losing. There is no perfect moment. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you success. The only way out is through hard work, through discipline, through relentless action. The modern world wants you weak. They want you distracted, soft, and dependent. Because weak men are easy to control. Weak men follow the rules. Weak men obey. But strong men break free. And that's exactly what you must do. You must take control of your mind, control your body, control your time. Because if you don't, someone else will. The world belongs to those who take it, not those who wait. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. It's time to wake up. The choice is simple. Keep making excuses or take your life back. Which one will you choose? Why do so many men stay stuck? Why do they dream of success but never achieve it? It's not because they lack potential. It's not because they weren't given a chance. It's because they are chained by their own excuses. I'm not lucky. I don't have time. I wasn't born rich. Lies. Every single one of them. Excuses are the easiest way to stay weak. They let you avoid responsibility. They make you feel better about failure, but they don't change your life. And that's exactly why most men never make it. Because instead of doing the work, they look for reasons why they can't. Instead of taking control, they give it away. Every excuse is another lock on the cage that traps them in mediocrity. But here's the truth. No one cares about your excuses. The world doesn't care why you failed. It only cares if you win. Think about it. Have you ever seen a successful man stop and explain why he almost didn't make it? No. Because winners don't waste time justifying failure. They find a way to win no matter what. And here's the secret. Your brain will always look for an easy way out. Psychology proves this. When faced with a challenge, your mind immediately searches for an escape. It wants to protect you from discomfort, from struggle, from pain. But that pain is exactly what you need, because pain builds strength. Pain forces growth. Pain is the fire that turns weak men into warriors. The men who make it, the ones who dominate in life, don't have fewer problems. They just refuse to make excuses. They wake up tired and still train. They start with nothing and still build. They get knocked down and still stand up. Because they understand one thing, excuses don't get results. Actions do. So ask yourself, how many times have you let an excuse stop you? How many times have you told yourself tomorrow instead of starting today? How many times have you blamed someone else instead of owning your mistakes? Every time you make an excuse, you lose power. Every time you avoid responsibility, you stay weak. You want to be strong? Then cut the excuses. You want to be successful? Then stop looking for an easy way and do the work. Because the men who rise, the ones who achieve, the ones who dominate, they have the same struggles, the same pain, the same challenges. The difference? They don't let excuses win. And you have two choices. Break free from your excuses or stay trapped in them forever. Why do men fear pain? Why do they run from struggle when it's the only thing that can make them strong? Most men are afraid of pain because they've been taught that it's something to avoid. They think pain is a sign to stop, a reason to quit. But they couldn't be more wrong. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your greatest teacher. Think about every strong man in history, every warrior, every leader, every champion. Do you think they had it easy? Do you think they were born into perfect conditions? No. They became great because they endured suffering and refused to break. Because here's the truth. Growth only happens through pain. The weak run from it. The strong embrace it. And that's exactly why only a few men ever reach the top. Look at your own life. Every time you face hardship, you had two choices: give up or push through. And every time you pushed through, you became stronger, even if you didn't realize it. That's how real strength is built, not in comfort, not in ease, but in struggle. The problem is most men today are addicted to comfort. They live in a world that tells them they should never feel pain, that they should avoid discomfort at all costs, that if something is hard, they should quit and find something easier. And that's why they stay weak, because without pain, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without hardship, there is no transformation. Psychology proves this. The human brain adapts to what it experiences. When you challenge yourself, when you suffer, when you push past your limits, your brain rewires itself. It becomes tougher, sharper, more powerful. But when you avoid pain, when you stay in your comfort zone, your brain does the opposite. It weakens, it becomes fragile, it stops growing. That's why the strongest men are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who seek it. They train when they don't feel like it. They push themselves when it's uncomfortable. They do the hard things that others refuse to do because they understand one thing. Pain is the price of power. Every time you feel pain, you have a choice. You can let it break you or you can let it build you. Most men let it break them. They complain, they quit, they give up, and that's why they stay small. But the ones who keep going, the ones who take the pain and use it as fuel, they become unstoppable. So ask yourself, how do you handle pain? Do you run from it or do you use it? Because the men who use it, who embrace it, who let it forge them into something greater, those are the men who win. Why do some men achieve everything while others fail despite having the same opportunities? It's not intelligence. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Most men wait for motivation. They wait until they feel ready. And that's why they stay exactly where they are, stuck, weak, and lost. Because motivation is a lie. It's unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you feel inspired, the next you don't. If you rely on motivation, you will fail every single time. But discipline is what separates the weak from the powerful. A disciplined man doesn't care how he feels. He doesn't care if he's tired. He doesn't care if he's unmotivated. He gets up and does the work every single day. That's why discipline is the ultimate power. Because when you master discipline, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you can master anything. Psychology proves this. The human brain is wired for short-term pleasure. It wants to take the easy way out. It wants instant gratification, junk food, entertainment, laziness. That's why most men struggle. They let their emotions control them. They do what feels good now instead of what will make them stronger later. But the disciplined man, he understands the game. He knows that sacrifice today creates power tomorrow. He is willing to suffer now so he can dominate later. Every successful man, every warrior, every leader, every king had one thing in common. They mastered discipline. They didn't rely on feelings. They relied on action. They trained when they didn't feel like it. They worked when it was hard. They pushed forward when everything was against them because they knew this truth. Discipline is freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more power you have over your life. And the less disciplined you are, the more you become a slave to weakness, to distractions, to failure. So ask yourself, are you in control or are you being controlled? Do you wake up every day and take action no matter how you feel? Or do you make excuses? Do you wait until it's the right time? Because there is no right time, there is only now. The men who understand this, they win. The men who don't, they watch from the sidelines wondering why life never changes. So make the choice right now. Will you stay weak waiting for motivation or will you rise, master discipline, and take control of your life? Why do some men push through any obstacle while others quit at the first sign of struggle? It's not just discipline. It's not just hard work. It's purpose. A man without purpose is a man without direction. He wakes up without a reason. He drifts through life, lost, confused, waiting for something to happen. And that's exactly why most men fail. Because without purpose, even discipline has a limit. Without purpose, you can push for a while, but eventually you'll burn out. You'll start asking yourself, why am I doing this? And if you don't have a strong answer, you'll stop. But a man with purpose, nothing can break him because he isn't just working hard. He's working towards something bigger than himself. That's the difference. A man with purpose doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need someone to push him. His purpose is his fuel. It wakes him up in the morning. It keeps him going when everything gets tough. It turns struggle into strength. And psychology proves this. Humans are wired to need meaning. Without it, depression, weakness, and failure take over. That's why most men feel empty. They chase pleasure instead of purpose. They fill their lives with distractions, games, entertainment, social media, because deep down, they feel lost. But here's the truth. No one is going to hand you your purpose. You won't just wake up one day and suddenly find it. You have to create it. You have to look at your life, decide what you want, and commit to it with everything you have. That's what separates the great from the average. Every powerful man in history had an unshakable purpose. Warriors fought for honor. Leaders fought for their people. Entrepreneurs built their empires. They weren't just working, they were building something that mattered. And that's what you must do. Ask yourself, what is your purpose? What wakes you up in the morning? What keeps you going when things get hard? What are you willing to sacrifice for? If you don't know, find it, because without it, you will stay lost. But once you have it, once you lock onto your purpose and refuse to let go, you become unstoppable. There are two types of men in this world: victims and warriors. One blames, the other takes responsibility. One complains, the other takes action. One stays weak, the other becomes unstoppable. The question is, which one are you? Most men today live with a victim mindset. They believe life is unfair, that the system is against them, that their circumstances are to blame for their failures. They think, if only I had better parents, if only I had more money, if only life was easier. But if only is the language of the weak. It's the excuse of the defeated. It's the mindset that keeps men stuck, miserable, and powerless. Because as long as you see yourself as a victim, you will never change. Why? Because victims don't take action. Victims wait. They wait for things to get better. They wait for someone to save them. But warriors don't wait. Warriors don't complain. Warriors take what they have, no matter how small, no matter how broken, and they use it to build something greater. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. The moment you stop blaming the world and start owning your life, you step into your true power. Because here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to fix your problems. No one is going to give you the life you want. It's on you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start winning. Psychology proves this. Studies show that people who take responsibility for their lives, who see themselves as creators instead of victims, are more confident, more successful, and more fulfilled. They don't waste energy blaming others. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They focus on solutions, not problems. They take control. And because they take control, they get results. Weak men will say, it's not my fault. Strong men say, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. I will fix it. Weak men let life happen to them. Strong men make life happen for them. That's the difference. And the moment you make that shift, everything changes. Suddenly, setbacks aren't failures. They're challenges to overcome. Suddenly, hardships aren't unfair. They're opportunities to grow. Suddenly, the pain, the struggle, the difficulty, it all makes sense. It's all fuel for the fire inside you. So ask yourself, are you living as a victim or as a warrior? Are you making excuses or are you making progress? Are you waiting for life to change or are you changing it yourself? Because the truth is, life doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your struggles. It only rewards those who refuse to quit. The moment you stop blaming, stop complaining, and start owning everything in your life, that's the moment you start winning. That's the moment you become dangerous. And that's the moment the world starts to respect you. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the power of self-respect, how it shapes the way the world sees you, and why without it, you will always be weak. Because a man who respects himself moves differently, speaks differently, and dominates in ways others never will. And if you don't have self-respect, you will never earn the respect of others. Look around. Weak men are everywhere. You see them walking with their heads down, speaking softly, afraid to take up space. They let the world push them around. They tolerate disrespect. They accept failure as their destiny. And do you know why? Because they don't respect themselves. Self-respect is the foundation of a strong man. It is the invisible force that determines how you carry yourself, how you think, how you act. Without it, you are nothing. Without it, you will let others walk all over you. You will settle for less than you deserved. You will live a life of quiet misery, never realizing your true power. And the worst part? The world will treat you exactly how you treat yourself. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. But what does self-respect actually mean? It means holding yourself to a higher standard. It means refusing to tolerate weakness in yourself. It means setting boundaries and not allowing anyone to cross them. Psychology proves this. People subconsciously judge you based on how you carry yourself. If you present yourself as weak, if you accept disrespect, if you hesitate to speak with confidence, the world will see you as unworthy. But the moment you start valuing yourself, the moment you demand more from life, everything changes. A man with self-respect doesn't seek approval. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't need validation from others because he validates himself. He speaks with confidence. He moves with certainty. He operates with a sense of purpose that others can feel. And because he respects himself, others respect him. That's the secret. So how do you build self-respect? Simple. You do hard things. You stop lying to yourself. You follow through on your promises, even when no one is watching. You train your body, strengthen your mind, and develop skills that make you valuable. You cut out toxic habits, porn, laziness, junk food, meaningless distractions, and replace them with discipline and growth. Because every time you do what is right instead of what is easy, you prove to yourself that you are a man worth respecting. And the more you respect yourself, the more powerful you become. Weak men let the world define their value. Strong men create their own. So ask yourself, do you respect yourself? Do your actions reflect strength, discipline, and purpose? Or are you just existing, waiting for the world to tell you who you are? Because the world only respects those who respect themselves first. If you don't demand greatness from yourself, no one else will. In the next section, we'll talk about powerful presence, how to command respect without saying a word, how to move through the world as a man that others instinctively admire, and how to cultivate the kind of energy that makes people pay attention when you walk into a room. Because the way you carry yourself determines everything. And if you walk like a king, the world will treat you like one. Before you even speak, people have already judged you. Within seconds, they've decided whether to respect you, ignore you, or walk all over you. This is the power of presence. Some men walk into a room and the energy shifts. People notice them. They don't have to speak loudly or demand attention. Attention naturally follows them. Why? Because they carry themselves like men who are in control. They move with purpose. They radiate strength. They are men who own themselves. But most men, they shrink. They walk with their heads down, afraid to take up space. They hesitate before speaking. Their movements are uncertain, their energy weak. And because they project weakness, they are treated as weak. Understand this. The way you carry yourself determines how the world treats you. It's human psychology. People subconsciously look for signs of strength and dominance. They follow those who appear to be in control. They respect those who demand it, not with words, but with presence. So how do you build this presence? How do you walk into a room and command respect without saying a word? It starts with your posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, chest open. Make eye contact. Weak men avoid eye contact because they fear confrontation. Strong men hold it because they have nothing to fear. When you look a man in the eye and don't look away first, you send a message, I am not intimidated. Next, slow down your movements. Rushed, jittery behavior screams insecurity. Confident men move with control, with intention. They walk at their own pace. They don't fidget. They don't glance around nervously. Their movements are deliberate, calm, and strong. This signals dominance. This makes people pay attention. Then there's your voice. Weak men mumble. They speak too fast. They seek approval with their words, asking, is that okay? Instead of making a statement. A powerful man speaks slowly with certainty. He doesn't rush to fill silence. He lets his words carry weight. And because he speaks with confidence, people listen. And most importantly, your mindset. You must believe that you are worth respecting. No amount of perfect posture or deep voice can hide insecurity. If you don't believe in yourself, the world won't believe in you either. The energy you put out is the energy you receive. Walk like a king and the world will treat you like one. Walk like a servant and you will be treated like one. This is the secret of powerful presence. You must embody strength before the world recognizes it in you. If you act like a leader, people will follow. If you act like a man of value, people will respect you. If you move with certainty, the world will respond accordingly. So ask yourself, how do you present yourself to the world? Do you move with purpose, with confidence, with quiet power? Or do you let your energy fade into the background? Because the truth is, men who command respect don't need to ask for it. They become it. In the next section, we'll talk about the warrior mentality, how to develop the unshakable mindset of a man who cannot be broken, who refuses to quit, and who dominates life no matter what challenges come his way. Because the strongest men are not the ones who have it easy. They are the ones who have trained their minds to be unstoppable.